Can we be honest? Sometimes we wonder if we are hard to love. We don't always say it out loud, not even in prayer, but it lingers in the silence after weddings, in the sting of scrolling through engagement posts, when people keep saying, "Your time will come," and especially if you are in a friend group where everyone seems to get asked out, gets chosen, and you are the one no one ever approaches. You smile, you celebrate them, but deep down, it chips away at your heart, and you begin to wonder, but what about me? You know, deep down, that singleness isn't a curse. You believe that, but you still long to be loved, to be chosen, to not have to carry your life alone anymore. And some nights, it still feels like loneliness is winning, because even when you trust God, even when you are content most days, there's still a part of you that longs to be chosen, to be seen, not just spiritually, but specifically by someone. And that doesn't make you broken, it makes you human. Not because you are not enough without it, but because your heart was made with room for more. And that room echoes sometimes. If that's you too, this space is for you to process your feelings about singleness without being shamed, while still allowing the Word of God to mold your thoughts and perception. Let's bring it all to God, who sees and understands it all. The question, why am I still single? It isn't always just about singleness. Sometimes it's the question beneath the question. Am I hard to love? Is something wrong with me? Have I missed my chance? Did God forget about me? You don't always ask it out loud, but it's there, in the silence, after your friends leave, on days like Valentine's Day, in the quiet corners of your heart, where the doubt hides, and you try not to let it get to you. You remind yourself, God is enough, and He is, but you can love God deeply and still feel lonely. You can trust His plan and still long to be held. You can live a full life and still feel the ache of wanting someone to share it with. That doesn't make you ungrateful. That doesn't mean you are doing faith wrong. It just means you are human and honest. You were not made to do life in isolation. You were made for love, for connection, for closeness. And when that desire goes unmet, it hurts. Not because you are weak, but because you are wired for relationship. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, maybe I am just not the type people choose, or if you've ever felt like your prayers about this go unanswered, like you are being passed by while everyone else is being picked, please hear this. Your singleness is not proof that God has overlooked you. It is not evidence that something is wrong with you. And that quiet, aching question in your heart, it's not too much for God. It's not annoying to Him. He doesn't brush it aside. He listens, He stays, and He never withholds love, even when it doesn't come in the package or timeline you hoped for. So what does God say in the middle of all this? Psalm 84:11 tells us, "For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does He withhold from those who walk uprightly." Let's slow down and read that again. No good thing does He withhold. Some days, that's hard to believe, isn't it? Because singleness doesn't always feel like a good thing. Being alone doesn't always feel like a blessing. Waiting doesn't always feel like favor. But this verse isn't saying that God gives us everything we want when we want it. It's saying that God's love is not stingy. He's not holding out on you. He's not waiting for you to be better or more spiritual before He brings someone. And your relationship status is not a reflection of how loved or favored you are. God gives good things, and He also withholds things for good reasons. Not to punish, but to protect, to preserve, to prepare, to provide in ways you don't even see yet. And sometimes what feels like delay is actually God's kindness, holding something back, not because you are not worthy of it, but because He wants to give it to you in a way that will not harm you, or replace Him, or fall short of the fullness He's planned for you. He sees the whole road. He knows what your heart needs, not just for today, but for the long haul. And while you wait, He walks with you. The God who withholds no good thing is also the God who promises to be near in the longing. Not only is He not far, He's the sun that warms your waiting, and the shield that guards your heart while it aches. And if we are being really honest, sometimes what makes the waiting even harder is not just the absence of a relationship, it's how much we have started to center our lives around the idea of one. It's subtle. You don't even realize it at first, but slowly, your joy starts to depend on whether someone notices you. Your hope starts to hinge on whether someone texts back. Your prayers start sounding more like bargaining than surrender, and without meaning to. You start to believe that a relationship will be the thing that finally makes you feel whole, that once someone chooses you, sees you, loves you, then you will finally feel worthy. But here's the truth. No person, no matter how godly, kind, or attentive, can carry the weight of your healing. And when we ask romance to do what only Jesus can do, it becomes an idol, something we worship with our hope, not because we don't love God, but because we are looking for something to fix the ache. And still, God is gentle with us. He doesn't yank our idols out with cruelty. He lovingly shows us where our hearts have placed something above Him, not to shame us, but to free us. Because the love you are longing for, it's real, but it will never be safe or satisfying. If it replaces the one who created your heart in the first place, you were not created to find your identity in being desired. You were created to be rooted in a love that doesn't shift with people's opinions or availability. Before you are chosen by anyone else, you are already claimed by God who withholds no good thing. And sometimes, it's not just about wanting someone to love us. It's about wanting someone to heal us, to rewrite the story of rejection, to prove we are not too much, to finally take away the ache from what happened before. Maybe your longing isn't just for love. Maybe it's for relief from the wound you carry, from the silence someone left you with, from the words that broke something in you that you are still trying to unhear. And so you imagine someone coming along, gentle and safe, who finally makes all of that feel distant, who kisses the scars and says, "I would never do that to you." And a part of you breathes a little easier at the thought of that, because it sounds like healing. But here's the deeper truth, friend, and it might be hard to hear, but it's tender truth, not condemnation. The healing you are hoping a person will bring, it's healing only Jesus can give. Because when we place that expectation on someone else, even unconsciously, we are not just setting them up to fail. We are setting ourselves up to be crushed again. People can love you well, but they can heal your history. They can care for your heart, but they can't undo your past. They can stand beside you, but they were never meant to be your source. When we look to a relationship to heal us, we place a weight on a human soul that only divinity can carry. And slowly, it begins to shift something inside. Our eyes start drifting from Jesus, not because we don't love Him, but because we have started hoping this person will do for us what only the cross ever could. And that's how a good desire can quietly become a spiritual distraction. When the desire to be loved becomes louder than the voice of God who already loves you completely, you will start to forget who you are when no one is choosing you. You will start to equate loneliness with failure, and your confidence will become something fragile, dependent on being seen, instead of knowing that you already are. But Jesus, oh Jesus, He never looks away. He's not threatened by your longing. He's not frustrated by your desire, but He does want to protect your heart from building your healing on shaky ground, because He knows what you are really looking for, not just a hand to hold, but a soul to feel safe in. And no one, not even the right person, can be that safe place for you if Jesus isn't your anchor first. So let Him hold what you have been saving for someone else. Let Him speak to the part of you that's still bruised. Let Him be the one who holds your story while you wait. Because He's not withholding love from you. He's drawing your heart back to where love begins. And when your healing is rooted in Jesus, you will stop asking someone else to come fix what only God can redeem. You will walk into love whole, not begging to be repaired. Take a moment and imagine this. You are standing beside God, and in His hands is a lump of clay. You know what He's making. You've been asking for it for so long. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's the love you've been waiting for. The person your soul keeps whispering about when it's quiet. You see the clay, and you want it to be ready now. At first you wait, but the longer you stand there, the more desperate you become. You start fidgeting, asking questions. Is it done yet? Can I hold it? What's taking so long? But He just keeps working, calm, steady, patient, fingers deep in the earth of it, shaping it with care. You can quite see. You try to help. You reach out, maybe just to hold part of it, or move the edges along. You try to suggest a shape. You offer your own version. Maybe you even say, God, I trust you, but maybe I could just carry it until it's done. And then a gentle voice cuts through your ache. If I give it to you now, it won't hold. It's not ready, and neither are you. You freeze, and suddenly you see it. The clay is still soft, still forming, still wet in some places, still fragile in others. If you were to grab it now, you'd crush it by accident, or worse, you'd settle for a shape that was never meant to hold the kind of love you were made for. So you let go. You pull your hands back. Slowly, painfully, you sit beside Him again. And this time, you breathe. You still want it. Of course you do. But now you see, the waiting isn't punishment. It's protection. Because what He's making isn't just good. It's holy. And He loves you too much to let you carry it before it's ready. Love is not just about being chosen. It's about being safe in that choosing. And until that love comes, Jesus sits with you in the waiting, preparing your heart to be ready to receive. Not as a substitute for your longing, but as a shelter within it. He is the one who writes the truest words over your life, daily, in grace. And when the time comes, you won't have to beg for love. It will just be a continuation of God's love that has been with you all along. Now, because you can rush the shaping, maybe you can still grow while you wait. Maybe this season isn't just about holding on until someone comes. Maybe it's about becoming, not in a pressure-filled way, not to earn love, not to prove you spare-worthy, but to become deeply rooted in who you are, so that no matter what or who comes, you are not shaken. Singleness isn't a waiting room. It's not the in-between life. It's a full, whole, beautiful season where God has your undivided attention. I want you to be free from anxieties. The unmarried person is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to please the Lord. 1 Corinthians 732. ESV. There is a unique kind of closeness available in this season, a way of knowing God without distraction, without division, without needing to juggle hearts. And that doesn't mean this season is easy. It just means it's sacred. You don't have to waste it by wishing it away. You can build rhythms of intimacy with God that will carry into every future chapter. This isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about slowing down long enough to be with God, not to impress Him, but to know Him. In this season, you get to build habits of connection with God that won't be so easy when your life is shared with another, like slow mornings in His Word, quiet evening walks where you talk to Him aloud, worship without distraction, and unhurried prayer. What you build in singleness becomes the foundation for future seasons, not just a survival mechanism, but sacred preparation. Abide in me, and I in you. Apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15:4, 5. You can also create and cultivate with time you won't always have. This season offers something rare: freedom, your time, your space, your energy. It's yours to pour. And while it's still yours, you get to create. Start the project. Start the business. Write the blog. Learn the skill. Explore your gifts. Build something beautiful with the Lord, not for validation, but because He placed creation in your DNA. You are not just waiting to be loved. You are co-creating with love Himself. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. Proverbs 31, 7. Dear friend, in this singleness season, you can also serve freely, give boldly, say yes to opportunities. Sometimes we confuse availability with loneliness, but they're not the same. You have space, and that's a gift. Say yes to mentoring someone younger. Say yes to helping with that ministry project. Say yes to spontaneous coffee with someone who is struggling. You are not filling time. You are spending it well. You are not lacking commitment. You are investing it where it matters most. As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another. 1 Peter 4:10. Lastly, you can take this time to heal deeply, not to fix yourself for someone else, but to be whole before they ever arrive. Healing is not a prerequisite for love, but it is a gift to yourself and to the one who may one day love you. Don't wait to start dealing with the pain from the past, the rejection that still whispers, the trauma you've learned to hide. This is your time to face it, to let Jesus into the rooms you've kept locked, to allow therapy, community, and His Word to reshape the stories you tell yourself. Because you were never meant to be rescued by a relationship. You were meant to be restored by God. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147, 3. In Psalm chapter 34, verse 5, it says, "Those who look to Him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame." This verse doesn't say those who get married or those who finally get chosen. It says those who look to Him, because radiance doesn't come from being wanted. It comes from being anchored. You were not placed in this season to wait prettily. You were placed here to shine, to root your identity so deeply in Jesus that no relationship could ever become your source. Because the truth is, if you build your joy on someone else showing up, you'll always be waiting to feel complete. But if you build it on Jesus now, you'll carry that fullness into every room, every calling, and every relationship that may come. So no, singleness is not easy, but it's not empty either. It's a season that holds treasure, not just in the future, but right now. Let this season shape you, not just to be loved by someone one day, but to know you are already loved today. Let your light shine now, not for someone to find you, but because God already has. Sometimes the heart speaks loudest when we finally slow down enough to listen. That's what journaling is. It's not just writing down feelings. It's making space for what's been quietly stirring beneath the surface. It's choosing to sit with what's real instead of running from it. It's a way to bring our full, unfiltered selves before God, not with polished answers, but with open hearts. When we journal, we make room for honesty. And in that honesty, God meets us, not with shame, but with compassion. So if your heart is aching, if your soul is searching, this is your space to slow down, to listen, to name what sip's been heavy, and to be met there by the one who already knows and still draws near. Let these questions guide you, gently and honestly. There's no rush, no pressure, just space for you and God to sit together in this season. Where have you felt the ache of singleness most lately? What moments or experiences have stirred it up for you? Have you felt pressure to be okay with being single, even when you're not? What have you been afraid to admit to yourself or to God about this season? What lies have you believed about your worth because you haven't been chosen yet? Where did those lies come from? What would it look like to build intimacy with God in this season? What rhythms do you long to begin, even in small ways? What gifts, dreams, or passions could you cultivate now with the time and freedom you have? What's one thing you've been wanting to explore or begin? Is there anything you need to heal from before stepping into a future relationship? What hurts or patterns has God been gently bringing to the surface? What might God be inviting you to see about yourself in this season that you may have overlooked? How might this time be about more than waiting? What would it mean to shine, not for attention, but from fullness? You don't have to finish all these at once. Just start where your heart leans in. And as you write, remember, Jesus is not standing far off, waiting for you to get over this season. He is sitting right beside you in it, patient, present, loving you as you are. If you are not sure what to say to God right now, that's okay. Let this prayer give your heart some words. You don't have to pray it perfectly, or just honestly. Jesus, you see the ache I don't always know how to name. The part of me that celebrates others, but quietly wonders, will it ever be my turn? You know how long I have waited, how hard I have tried to stay hopeful, how I have wrestled with feeling forgotten, even when I know you don't forget. You know the stories behind this longing, the heartbreaks I have buried, the fears I carry, the dreams I still hold, even when they hurt to hope for. So here I am, Lord, not to perform, not to prove I am okay, but just to be with you, to ask you to meet me here in this ache, in this in-between, and remind me that I'm not behind. I am not invisible. I am not hard to love. You are not withholding love from me. You are love, and you are with me. Help me see this season as more than just waiting, but as holy ground where you are forming something beautiful. Make my heart soft enough to grow. Make my hands open enough to receive. And when I feel empty, fill me with your nearness. Even when love feels far, remind me that you never are. I trust you, even here, even when it's quiet, even when it's hard. Thank you for loving me as I am, for choosing me, even when no one else does. and for never rushing my heart. Amen. As we come to the end of this devotional, maybe no one else asks how you are really doing in this season. But this space will. And if this devotional resonated with you, you are not alone. This is a community of hearts learning to hope again. Right in the middle of the ache, in the comments, you are welcome to share your reflections, or even just let us know what kind of support you feel you need right now. There's no pressure to say everything, but you don't have to carry it all in silence either. And if the journal prompts stirred something in you, you can share any of your answers, or just sit with them quietly before God. Either way, I am so glad you are here. You are loved. You are seen. You are not forgotten. And this season, it's not wasted. Make sure to subscribe if you would like to keep journeying with me. There is more hope where this came from. Until next time, keep looking to the one who never withholds good from you, and keep shining, even in the waiting.